Or rather than okay. We will go ahead and call this meeting of the Policy and Governance Committee to order. Notice this meeting was properly posted November 12th, 2020. District 1 and District 3 are present. Item 1 is approval of the minutes for October 20th. I'll second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. District 2 is here. This one, right? Hello. District 2 is also here. Item 2, discussion and possible action to approve the 2021 schedule of meetings. Any motion on that? Discussion.
Well, yeah. Possible maybe answer to this.
What's the question?
On this scheduled meetings, Cassie,
Yes.
they're Mondays. Are these days listed also the OCC meeting days, or are they on the off Mondays from the OCC?
I am not for sure, but I will find out for you.
I would make a mention that we move this meeting to either the Monday opposite of our regularly scheduled BOCC meeting next month, next year, or that we find a date, an alternate date, Tuesday when we're not having a introduction of PDA meeting, so it's not conflicted with the BOCC. And just have a quick bring back that schedule with everyone.
Is the motion everyone?
Yeah, whichever one of those would work.
Okay, a second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Item 3 is discussion and possible action to review and recommend that the following IT policies be approved for the BOCC for inclusion in the Oklahoma County Employee Handbook: acceptable use policy, access policy, antivirus policy, bring your own device policy, email use and email records policy, and password policy.
Chairman, I asked that we do 3, 4, and 5 if you would. Are those likely to require further discussion, not to hold others up?
That's actually excellent. I was going to make the same motion myself. Miles did most of the legwork on this item, so
So actually on item 3, I would just move that we refer this down to
IT cool with that. Okay. Yes.
I'd like to make a comment on that. That is an item that needs to be approved. These are items that need to be approved by BOCC after recommendation from this body, so that we can then include them in the employee handbook update, go to the budget bill, and ultimately to the BOCC for approval.
I'm appreciative of that, but I know they've been out here before, but we've had other things going on, and I want to review them again. Also, Dan and Rich, real quick, what's the status of these in with regard to the DA's office? So they review.
Well, as far as the review.
So, motion to defer this item to the next meeting.
We have a motion to defer 3, 4, and 5.
No, just
Just 3. Okay. I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
All right? What was the vote on that?
2 yes, 1 no.
Who voted no? I did. I didn't hear you. I'll take on this. I guess.
Item 4, discussion and possible action to review nominations and select 2 BOCC employees as the BOCC Employees of the Month for October 2020. Selections will be referred to the BOCC for recognition in an upcoming BOCC meeting. Are you okay referring this to the queue of the meeting as per Mr. Matthews? Okay, awesome. Go for it.
All right, so 4 and 5 are deferring to the end of the docket. Item 6,
No action necessary, Chair. Once y'all have questions.
item 6, no action. Item 7, discussion review and possible action. Oklahoma County Juvenile Bureau.
Miles informed me that they had an emergency and there's no one available, so no action.
No action. Item 8, discussion review and possible action. Emergency management.
Good morning. Several topics of discussion to bring today. I think we'll start off with COVID. As you are likely aware, Oklahoma City has changed their meeting procedures. Thank you for sending that information to me. And I looked at the state law change. Basically, the Attorney General Mike Hunter allowed or had the exemptions that were in place to expire on Sunday. So state boards and commissions are back now to what we would consider normal meetings. The virtual meeting guidance that was implemented at least temporarily and likely to be re-implemented in my guess. That expired, so they were back to regular meeting schedule. Our emergency declaration, which is mirroring the state of Oklahoma, emergency declaration regarding COVID-19 is still in place. The current version of that expires the 23rd of this month. I'll anticipate another extension of that under Governor Stitt's office. Had discussion with Mr. Warren and his staff yesterday, Mike. The courts are not hearing of any modifications yet. We're obviously seeing, I should preface all this, but we're obviously seeing drastic increases in numbers. Fortunately, the death count fatalities are not seeing the same increase here locally. But we continue to see increased numbers in hospitalizations, increased number of cases, positive cases, etc. And seems to be a great deal of additional concern, again, for a valid reason because of those numbers that I've gone. Not hearing about any modifications or changes in court. Fortunately, there is only one more jury trial this calendar year, which will be in the 1st of December. So that's going to help us a great deal in regard to that. And there's obviously one going on right now. From the PPE perspective, CARES Act supplies continue to beat that up. We're, in my opinion, in very good shape in that regard. SNS supplies are in very poor shape. I'll be recommending to Mr. Warren and his staff to reach out to the state. And I've also reached out to a couple points of contact, trying to obtain additional SNS resources that we can use for jury/court purposes. Supposed to be hearing something back today from one of them that is actually working at the SNS warehouse. So hopefully updates will be coming in that regard. Mr. Matthews and I have met and have discussed on several occasions the ongoing situation here for Oklahoma County, and while the emergency response committee is not in place, he and I feel strongly about the guidance that has been provided. Obviously, just if nothing else, a great emphasis of wearing a mask, washing your hands, and watching your distance. Kind of the buzz phrases that are being used now for social distancing. And if nothing else, protect those that we consider most vulnerable, which would be our seniors and those compromised and deficiency issues or whatever type of health situation it might be. The governor also announced that Thursday bars and restaurants tables will be 6 feet apart or barriers in place, and they're to be closing at 11 o'clock at night. He's also implemented that all state employees will use masks when around others.
that include visitors to all state facilities. So they've done a little tightening up there. And they've kind of genericized the testing piece of that. Anybody interested in being tested now can contact 211 for a list of sites. So that simplified that greatly, as opposed to trying to track and keep up with all the different sites. So 211 is the best place for information in regard to availability of test sites. Vaccine, we continue to see a lot in the news about that. A second one has actually been rolled out. Saw an interesting news release that was provided to me from Oklahoma City County Health Department. With the Pfizer version, it's somewhat similar to the other we're seeing. It's going to require 2 shots, 2 applications for people to have the full vaccine. But they're now saying that the Pfizer version is a high probability of flu-like side effects, including aching, fever, etc., that could last for several days. Just be aware. In other topics, emergency response guidebooks, those come out every, I believe it's 5 years or 6 years. You see in front of you, those are for your district staff and your officers, your commissioner, chief deputy, first deputy, whomever your staff. And Mr. Rutledge from my office is delivering a case of each of those to each of the district yards, so they will be receiving them also to put in their vehicles and in their equipment. If you need additional copies, please let me know. On the ice storm, the federal declaration was requested on the 13th, which was last Friday. Our declaration, emergency declaration for Oklahoma County, actually expired yesterday, and I've been in contact with the state. That does not create, according to the state, that does not create any negative implications for us, because we did act in a timely manner and we put the emergency declaration in place early in the event when we were under the urgency of that situation. And that process continues to move forward. I got an update this morning from the state office that we have not received response yet. I'd like to say we should get approved quickly, because the first round of preliminary damage assessments found $27 million in damages in just 13 counties. That's more than $20 million over the state threshold. As you recall, there was a declarations are done county by county, and there is a county threshold for each county. Ours is like $2.6 million, depending on population. Those are combined into a state threshold also, the state threshold being somewhere in the neighborhood of $7 million. So just the first round of preliminary damage assessments gave $27 million in damages, which again is more than $20 million over the state threshold. She went on to say, we saw longer wait times for a public assistance request in 2019, so she can't say for sure on the timeliness of what's going on, but it just needs to be processed. And if there is an issue with it, it won't be because of the numbers. Preliminary damage assessments, so obviously substantial. Again, that was on 13 counties. Cross generator project. I'm sure Chantel will probably talk about that or somewhere. Those bids were opened yesterday. We've had some subsequent discussion in that regard, and I believe that project, according to my discussion with Mr. Monroe, is continuing to move forward. Yes. Push partner agreement on the BOCC special agenda, or supposed to make it to the BOCC special agenda for tomorrow. That's not to be confused with the push partner plan. The plan is in place. That was approved back, I think, in March. Mr. Matthews and my staff worked on that, and we've got a very good plan in place. This is actually just a formal agreement between Oklahoma County and City County Health to allow us to implement and use that plan and allow them to support it. Not the plan, just agreement to implement. And I also did some checking. Sheriff's Office has had responsibility for the push partner plan at the jail. I do not know if that has been addressed with the jail trust. If there's been any modification, if there's been any adjustment, I cannot answer that question. They are what's called, I believe it's a SIP, S-I-P, sheltered in population, I believe it's called. But it's about population, but obviously can't go to another facility to do what we would do with push partner implementation here. Juvenile is under that same type of guidance. Those are both in place. However, I don't know the status of the jail with the implementation of jail trust. All of the annual equipment agreements from my office and the municipalities around the county are completed, finally. Still have one annual agreement with AT&T that's in a bit of a snag thanks to a substantial stack of paper they decided to include late in the game, and we'll be working on that through that. Then we were talking about unit we call Piglet, which is actually our mobile radio tower communication system that we were able to deploy and provide to Newcastle when the last storm hit. They lost a tower. You probably saw in the news. Public safety communications went down within a matter of hours. We were able to deploy that resource, and Mr. Comstock, a couple of others, including volunteers that we have on staff that Commissioner Blumberg asked about yesterday. We were able to deploy that resource and reestablish public safety communications in that area, again, within just a matter of hours. That resource is now back in-house. It's not in place out there. That was out there from October 28th until now. Those are the high points.
On the push plan.
Yes, sir.
Now we just have, city county, I know they have a relationship right now. And the work that we've done in front of the system, before the code is,
Okay.
in order to keep that process going.
I will certainly make that recommendation. Good.
Motion to receive the report.
Motion to receive report, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, sir. And we have a discussion review and possible action, engineering.
Not only your favorite subjects, but I don't think John has in past on the roads. We have in discussions with private developers, got over 1,000 lots to this county in the near future. We really would aim to have those developed under the 2007 regs. So we've been working on 2 sets of regs for probably a decade. And so we're going to do our zoning and subdivision regs by the end of this year, calendar year. We've got this body make recommendations, the planning commission make recommendations. About 3 Board of County Commission meetings left in this calendar year, so that's our schedule is kind of aggressive. Needed. So a couple of our issues. That's fine. We'll figure it out. Is this biosolids issue, which really impacted District 1 and 2. Refresh your memory, they have 6,000 acres out in eastern part of the county where they have sites. And the discrepancy is in the floodplain areas. Which I've depicted, I've blown up a piece of the map down here and made a big green piece of the floodplain with the water. What the city is working under through the DEQ, up to the EPA, nationally, they're working on clean water. And they have the biosolids program. The commissioners are working under in that same piece of ground, using water resources going through the EPA Clean Water Act. So you got both the city and the county in the same jurisdiction area. That's causing the conflict of the issue. So there's 3 things that I've narrowed down to in the law, federal law and state law. They say don't be within 10 meters of the waters of the U.S. And that's not a real easily defined thing, but this line on the side of the map here is 10 meters from the water. And that's what the city's doing. What I would suggest if they would move the line to 10 meters outside the floodplains, there would be no more conflict.
They being the city.
That's one resolution for the issue.
The second one, we're not to be in the floodplain when it's raining. It's in the winter time, snow, frost. They say they're not. But we've heard that few years in the past. That one, that conflict. And then the third one is you can't put these biosolids within 2 feet of water. And I'm fairly convinced that the water table is that high in these floodplains. And I'm really convinced that it's that high up in the northeast corner of our county where Robert Wellington, everybody knows the Davis. And they've got sites up here in the northeast corner. So,
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
I'd like to move the other room to the large crowd that we have in order to provide for adequate distance.
Stacy, if you allow us 5 minutes, we're gonna move this body to another room that's available across the hall.
Okay, so a motion to recess for 5 minutes and reconvene in the BOCC.
Motion is second. All those in favor say aye.
Run the white.